Hi, welcome back to Show and Sell. My name is Scott. On today's video, well, if you've seen any of my the shorts that I do, I have talked about how on a recent short I talked about how thrift stores and bins and things like that in my area, I don't ever seem to find the big scores that a lot of the other YouTubers seem to find every time they go out. And in the short that I did, I was excited because I had picked up a couple of items and had flipped one for a profit, and it had, and I found the items on my third trip to the same thrift store. Well, I went back to that thrift store, and this time I found action figures. And in point of fact, I found many action figures. I'm not sure where they came from, I didn't ask, but I found a lot of vintage action figures, some not vintage, but many vintage action figures. Going back to the 90s, I think maybe some maybe even to the 80s, but most of them were boxed. A few were in the bags that you see. A lot of the YouTubers, they'll go to the thrift stores and there'll be a bag of, random toys, sealed $2, $3, but a few bags. But most of the things that I bought were boxed action figures. I was amazed. And I actually purchased an entire shopping cart of action figures. It's so many, and you'll get to see them all, that I'm going to show you, and it's 8 bags. Let me throw up a picture here. You can see what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna go through the bags. I'm not going to price every item out of every bag, but if you see something you know about, see something you remember from your childhood, see something that you have, maybe you just like to adorn your desk at your place of work. But I chose one bag at random and listed it the last week. But basically, I comped them all out, and I have some figures that I'll share with you for one bag. But the rest, I'll just show you what I picked up. And I will, of course, give you a total at the end of not so much what I expect to make, because as I said, I'm only going to be comping out one bag. And but I will give you a total of what I spent for all 8 bags for a shopping cart full of action figures, many vintage. As a matter of fact, the greatest majority of them were all boxed. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I saw them. But let's jump into it, and we'll talk more in a moment. When I got to when I was at the thrift store and I saw the figures, I actually did what I don't often do when I'm out and about. I comped almost every figure that you see. I did comp every packaged figure. And basically, if I saw that there was profit, it went into the cart. That is not actually the same black cat. I actually have more than one black cat. A few of these figures, I got more than one figure. But a lot of these seem to be from the 90s, from Toy Biz. They did a series of Marvel figures over several years. Most of these appear to also have the accessories. But basically, lots of Marvel, and this is just one bag. Wonder Man, not a character I know a lot about, but like, as you see, a lot of them are $7 for the larger figures, then $6, and then $4 for the small boxed figures. And then once you get into the bags, you're talking 2 and 3 and 4 characters for, $1 to $4. I do have some doubles. I know that I have a couple Deathstrokes. I think I have a couple of the Psylocks. And there are always some characters that I don't know, like Blight, the glow-in-the-dark figure right there. Another bag. I mentioned the more sexualized figures. I got Lynx from Animal Girls. Never heard of her, but it looks like it was worth it. But I paid $10 for that figure, and it's the largest figure that I purchased. Got a few of these DC Comics Multiverse And another Deathstroke. Do me a favor. If you've seen anything in this video that you like, hit like. But if you didn't see anything you like, also hit like. Just go down to the comments and tell me why. Sadly, it's the only way I'm going to learn. Let's jump back into the video. There's the clay face. I knew I had one floating around. I may even have another. Some of the bags, while it's a lot of DC and Marvel, there were a few Dragon Ball Z and a few other figures. Some of the bags did have other things other than just action figures strictly. But in that first bag, or the one bag that I'm going to show you, literally I listed everything that was in the bag with the exception of a Happy Meal toy and one of the Good to Grow toppers that I may list at some point, or I just may lot those together. I have no idea who the Double Impact action figure is there. As I said, these are all the figures from one of the bags that I picked up. There are some figures that I have doubles of. I think I have more than one Wasp, and I think you may have seen one of the Spider-Woman characters. That Deadpool on the top left there was one of the first figures that caught my eye when I was at the thrift store. Never played Halo, but I did binge watch all of the episodes of the series, and looking forward to the next. I thought I had another clay face that looks like it was a Killer Croc, the one on the bottom there. And I do have another Wasp or two. And I think I've got another reaction of Kurt Russell. What'd you think? Pretty, well, maybe it's just me. I'm still kind of blown away by what I found, and some of the numbers that are involved here. But I'm going to show up. I'm going to throw up an image here from one of the bags that we saw, and or one of the bags rather that we didn't see. This is the single bag that I didn't show. But we have a Lara Croft figure. I paid $7 for it, and I currently have it listed for $35. And all of these are going to be the figure plus shipping, so the buyer will pay shipping. But I have it listed for $35 plus shipping. And that is a vintage figure, and it's in great condition considering it's been hanging around for decades. The Marvel Legends Gamora, I paid $6 for. Currently have it listed for $25. The Batman and Robin, Bane from Batman and Robin, the animated series, paid $4. Have it listed for $19. The Typhoid Mary, purchased it for $5.99. Interesting thing, I found that a lot of the female action figures, particularly some of the ones that are, as you wouldn't be surprised, more sexualized, they tend to have a slightly higher value than some of the other figures. But the Typhoid Mary paid $6 for, and have it listed for $28. Marvel's Black Cat, I paid $4 and currently have it listed for $19. Marvel Universe Mystique, paid $4, currently have it listed for $25. Nick Fury in the box, paid $6. That is again, these are all sealed. Nick Fury in the box, paid $6, have it listed for $20. The Iron Man figure, have it currently listed for $12. The Iron Man, the War Machine, Spider-Woman were all in one bag. Paid $2.99 for them. All three together, $2.99. Have Iron Man listed for 12. All three of those figures had all of their accessories, by the way. The War Machine figure, I have it listed for 19. And the Spider-Woman, I have listed for 10. An odd little bag, Little Tykes, a gas can. I have it listed for 6. I was trying to remain true of, if it was in the bag and there was some money to be made, I went ahead and listed it so that I would kind of get an idea. And I think this is going to give me a kind of a rough idea of what I'm going to get for the other bags. It was something called a kite handler. It's basically the string that you connect to with a little thing that you hold on to, a kite handler, just what it sounds like. Have it listed for 5, and a Sheamus WWE action figure that actually talks. I had batteries that I was able to replace it with, and have it listed for 10. And a die-cast Chevy Corvette from Welly, have it listed for 10, and I paid $2.99 for the die-cast Sheamus, the kite handler, and the Little Tykes. The only figure that you didn't see here, and it's because the day that I listed it, it sold. I had a Ghost Rider figure, which I'll throw up a picture here. Also had one little accessory, and it was included, but the Ghost Rider I paid 99 cents for, and it sold for $15, same day. Now, obviously, I do not expect to get all of these numbers for each of the figures. Some of them I listed high, purposefully. Some I listed maybe even just a little above the lowest. Just basically depended on how many were out there. Obviously, I'm not going to list a figure and there's 30 for sale and price high, because my figure would never sell. In an instance like that, I would opt to price on the low end, maybe not the lowest, but one up, something like that. And there were some Ghost Rider figures, as I remember. There were a number sealed, there were a number of them loose. They were priced up a little bit, but there were more than a few, so I priced mine either toward the bottom or just above the lowest one or two, so that when they sold, I'd be up next, and sold same day for $15. But for all of the figures that, well, I should tell you outright that for all 8 bags, I paid a grand total of $452.72. $452.78. And just for this bag, and for the cost of the good, buyer's going to pay shipping in each case. I have a total of $243 just for that one bag. Like I said, I don't expect them all to sell at the prices that I set, but I think it's very safe to say that I'm going to get my money back. I'm going to get my money back. The question is, how large is my profit going to be? Obviously, I was fortunate enough that I could afford to put the cash out, the $452. Not everyone's going to be in that position. That's just the reality of life. Some people are in a far better position than me, and can go all in and buy $2,000 to $5,000. Some of the biggest YouTubers in the field, have gone out and bought. It looks like a toy store practically. I'm not there, but I was able to get all of these. I can absorb the cost and basically have that money tied up for a while. I know that I'm going to get my money back, but am I going to make $1,000? Am I going to make $1,500, $2,000? If they sold at this price, $240, let's say $250 times 8, it adds up. You're talking a couple $1,000s there. So I'm gonna say if you had to, you held my feet to the fire, that it would probably be $1,000 profit right now. Let's hope. The Battlestar Galactica figure, the Cylon Centurion, that is the only one of him I think I have. The Star Wars expanded universe character there. I think that's the only Star Wars character I have. Another Mystique. There's the Snake Plissken. I knew I had another Kurt Russell somewhere. If I counted right, you have seen all of the bags. This is actually from the last, I don't know, 8 or so figures that I just showed. These were in the bottom of the bag, and I didn't have room for them, so I just decided to do them separately. But it's it's the grab bags, mostly Marvel. I see some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some Dragon Ball Z, I think. Just a kind of a hodgepodge with a healthy dose of Marvel. And again, I think a great majority of these are going to be proved to be vintage and from Toy Biz. Well, what did you think? A lot of action figures. I am not going to flood my stores with all action figures at one time. I am going to kind of space these out. I did one bag this week. I may do another bag, like do one bag a week, or save them for the days where I need something easy to list. I did a private pick recently, and there were a lot of truly vintage toys in that, and I've been going through that. That's been a lot of fun, but it's one of those things, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just try and match things up. You start with a giant box and start separating things out, and then the next box, and separate those out until you kind of get a sense of, I think these are all the things that go together. But invariably, it'll turn out that I'll have a gun that goes to a G.I. Joe that I'll have to reopen and re-edit, and re-edit the listing at some point, because when you have that many items, it's just going to happen. I was so excited. I still am. I can't believe I have all these. I know it's a lot of work in front of me, but it's a lot of fun. And thankfully, those UPC barcodes, it's just so easy to scan and get all the information. Can't do that with everything at a yard sale, though. And it is yard sale season, so I'm going to be continuing to pick up items. I try and list every day, take items out of my drafts and drop them into my store. But I don't like to do 10 action figures in one day. I'll do a piece of clothing and a book and something home decor, a toy, a computer game. I like to have a lot of variety. Anything to trick the algorithm into tossing your name out there more, I guess. But I thank you for watching. I hope you'll tune in again to see what I've got coming up. I think one of my next videos is going to be I'm going to break a box of trading cards open that I got back from PSA. And summertime's, it's busy, it's hectic, but it's a lot of fun. I hope you'll join me. We'll see you next time. My name is Scott. Bye.